John, you sound great.
Oh, thanks.
It's my honor, my pleasure to have you on today. And Tyrone, thanks for coming back. And of course, it goes unsaid how great you play. And
thank you, Bob. It's nice to be back.
Thank you so much. Let's talk a little bit about this combination. It's a very unique combination I've never come across before. And I'm looking at the two of you, I'm looking at the instruments, and this looks like a little version of that. And is there a correlation here going on?
Well, actually, the slang term for this is the bass violin. In the classical circles, it's called a contrabass or a double bass.
Okay.
And we're both in the string family.
Right.
This is the highest pitch instrument in the string family, and this is the lower pitch instrument in the string family.
Okay, and both with 4 strings.
Absolutely.
That's right.
But they're approached differently, aren't they, in some
Well, they're backwards.
regards?
My strings are E, A, D, G, and his strings are G, D, A, E.
I
The
never
opposite
knew that.
direction, yeah.
And Tyrone, you can play with a bow as well.
Oh, absolutely.
Right,
Sure.
right. And can you
Like pizzicato, call it pizzicato.
pizzicato, and
Yeah.
that's with the fingers,
That's with
and
the
that's a
fingers,
whole
yeah.
different technique we have going on
Yes,
here.
it is, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you two have been playing together for how long? What's your background?
Well, I'd say close to 30 years.
At least 25 years, I would say,
At
in
least
that neighborhood.
25. I measured by my son. At least 25. We were playing before he was born.
Okay, good enough.
Okay.
I was working with a group back in the 70s called Catalyst, and I remember inviting John on at least 2 of our CDs as a guest artist, and that's when we first started playing together.
And then we were on the road together in Grover Washington Junior's band, and we were roommates most of the time on the road. I had to put up with him on the road. And we used to often get our instruments out right in the hotel room and just practice. We could do that because we had acoustic instruments, so we could get our instruments out and play. So we really developed our kinship from that point of time. We really got to know each other. We're still working together off and on today.
Yeah, I can feel a good rapport here, and obviously the sound. I have the CD, your latest CD, featuring John Blake,
Yes.
Tyrone. Tell me the title of that and some of the members of the band.
The title of the CD is Song of the Sun, and it's on the Nexus label, and the members are Nina Cotman on viola, Beth Zwell on viola, Melissa Ortega on violin, and Ron Lipscomb on cello, and of course John is the featured soloist.
Okay. And the other instrumentation, they're classically trained, more or less?
Yes, all of the other people I mentioned are classically trained.
Okay. And you did write some of the compositions on there?
Yes, I did. On this particular CD, I did 4 of the compositions.
Okay. Did you write any, John?
On
Yes,
the
he
latest
did.
one I
Okay.
did, yeah. I
Okay.
wrote one composition that
Yeah.
we played.
That third song I cannot get out of my mind. Song of the Sun, I think it is.
Yes, it is.
Right, right.
Is it the third? Yeah. It's the,
I think so.
title
Yeah,
track?
Yeah, very,
Yeah.
very catchy. Great.
Thank you.
Really, really good. Very unique as well.
Thank
and
you.
Tyrone, you've been with some of the biggest names in the world in both commercial and jazz.
Yeah.
Tell me a little bit about the jazz players that you've worked with and you're currently working with.
I've been with Odine off and on for several years.
Odine
In
Pope.
fact, we were in a couple of groups together prior to him forming his own group, and I've done approximately 5 CDs with him. And I was with Pat Martino for a number of years. I did 4 CDs with him, and I've done 5 with Grover Washington Jr. John was in that group at the time as well.
They were gold too. Gold
2 of them
CDs.
went gold out of the 5 we did, yes. And I've been with Max Roach since 1984, and I've recorded 5 CDs with him.
And for those who don't know Max Roach, tell us a little bit about him.
Max is probably the best known jazz percussionist in history. And he's an innovator, and he was with the legendary Charlie Parker Quartet when he first started out. And they were one of the inventors of, or the pioneers of bebop style, they called it back in the day.
Sure, okay. And John, you've been with McCoy Tyner and some of the great players.
That was a great, after I was with Grover, I went and joined McCoy's band and recorded 3 or 4 CDs with him. That was a great musical experience. Every experience that I've had in working with anyone is always something's rubbed off. You know, working with Grover was a great lesson in feeling blues and that sort of thing, and working with McCoy was a great lesson in utilizing pentatonic scales in my improvisation, which really altered my style. And recently I've had the pleasure of working with Dr. Billy Taylor and his trio. We're about to do a performance pretty soon, 2001, at the Kennedy Center in Washington. There's a series on jazz violin that I'm doing with him. And actually, we've worked together now for almost 10 years, off and on, in different educational situations, and it's really great. And I have my own band, and also...
and what's the title of that? John Blake?
John Blake Quartet.
Okay.
And, that's fun because my son, I raised a drummer, so he's playing with me now, and along with Sumi Tanoka and Boris Koslov, who was a Russian bassist that plays with the Mingus Big Band as well.
Okay.
So,
and as we come back, after John plays a solo piece, you'll be doing Jerome Kern's All the Things You Are.
That's right.
By yourself.
Right.
We'll talk about the educational value of your backgrounds and your instruments and so forth, and what you're doing in the community, and we'll just go further from there, okay?
Great.
So all yours, John.
Okay.